But I went from having confidence and arrogance to having faith. And faith is the opposite of fear. And that created this fearless approach that I have. I think very three-dimensionally. I don't think in the black and white lines that I've been programmed to think in. And I think in full color. So when I talk, I have to describe a thought in 5 ways. You know, we enjoy food that has multiple seasoning in it. We enjoy music that has multiple instruments. So when I talk, it's not a rant, it's a symphony of ideas. And when you collect them, you say, oh, these are all these things that connect. Yeah, you know, I just tell the truth. And telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. That's simply it. So now let's take like where there's, you know, people who have, you know, issues with me as Kanye West. So they classify, you know, my motivational speeches as like rants and things like this. Like, why is he saying that? Why is he doing that? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I've reached a point in my life where my Truman Show boat has hit the painting. And I've got to a point that Michael Jackson did not break down. I have reached the glass ceiling as a creative person, as a celebrity. When I say that, it means I want to do product. I am a product person, not just clothing, but water bottle design, architecture, everything, you know, that you could, you know, think about. And I've been at it for 10 years. And I look around, I say, wait a second, there's no one around here in this space that looks like me. And if they are, they're quiet as So that means, wait a second, now we're seriously like in a civil rights movement. Like people used to joke about, do you remember our South Park photo?
Yeah, I do.
Remember how funny that was? Do you think there would be a Givenchy in the hood if it wasn't for that South Park photo?
Yeah.
So many people are just so obvious. They don't even realize that when they box me in or try to verbally put me in some type of box or put Donda in a box, that they're really showing their level of ignorance. They're putting themselves in a box. And, you know, people can write all they want, but what are people doing? And if there's anybody that's out there doing, they know how hard it is to actually do. And I'm like a motivation of the doers. If everything I did failed, which it doesn't, it actually succeeds. But if everything I did failed, just the fact that I'm willing to fail is an inspiration. People are so scared to lose that they don't even try. Like one thing that people can't say is they can't say, I'm not trying. And I'm not trying my hardest and I'm not trying to do it the best way that I know how with what little information I get. So when I compare myself to Steve Jobs or Walt Disney, Howard Hughes, David Stern, Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Jesus, or whatever it is, I'm saying these are my heroes. These are people that I look up to. This is the type of impact I want to make on the earth. If I can make this type of impact up to this point, what can I do if you call Bob Iger and say, yo, give him a shot? If you call Oprah and say, yo, back this kid. His parents were educators. He wants to educate. He wants to look at curriculums and say, how do we simplify that? Exactly what I did in music, I want to apply to product. I want to apply to education. This is what my company Donda is about. I could rap all I want, but without that Rockefeller chain and Damon giving me that Rockefeller chain and without getting a record deal, I don't care how many beats I sold to whoever, I couldn't have made it to the point to make Jesus Walks. And now, even as a celebrity, blah, 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 I've reached the ceiling. And the way paparazzi talk to me and my family is disrespectful also. You know what I'm saying? We bring something of joy to the world. When people hear my music, they have a good time. And I should be respected as such when I walk down the street. Don't ask me a question about something you saw in the tabloids. Don't try to antagonize me, because you know what? It's not safe for you in this zoo. You know, never think that I'm not from Chicago for 1 second. So as I go through these different levels, there's times where I would use confidence when I knew what I was doing, and I would use arrogance when I didn't know what I was doing. But I'd rather use arrogance than to let someone diminish my idea of myself, because that is what keeps us going. Hope actually keeps us alive. But I went from having confidence and arrogance to having faith, and faith is the opposite of fear. And that created this fearless approach that I have, and that's what now has made me the fearless leader that I am, that I've like crystallized into the leader that my mom always knew I would be when kids followed me in preschool, the leader that people saw
when we changed the sound of music, the leader when we changed the sneaker industry, the leader in what we're doing with farming and with shelters. You have to move based on opportunity. If you have an opportunity to make a living at exactly what you dream about, you have to pursue that at that time when it's there. If the opportunity isn't there, just keep educating yourself as much as possible so that when the time comes, you'll be even better at that dream that you had. What I keep saying is I don't want to totally touch on this too long because I might start, crying, but I would think that my mom would trade in every single Grammy, BET, every award for her son to have a doctorate, being that she was Dr. West.
Are you a workaholic? Are you always working?
No, I actually slept a lot during the project.
While they were recording?
Yeah, I have a team and we work together. I spent a year and a half after I got out the hospital, and I would go to Amoeba record store and I just start chopping up samples. It was very therapeutic because I wasn't full yay. I don't know if I'm full yay now, or better or worse, whatever, but it was therapeutic just to listen to those songs and sample and go back to being 14 years old in my mom's house. And by the time it was time to do to put the albums out, we have a whole team at Yeezy Sound that will help come and do the drums, help with lyrics, help with choruses, and I'd give 6, 7 people ideas that I want on the song, and I just go to sleep.
We want is a real shot. Not, okay, I'm a celebrity, so that means my line has to cost $10 a t-shirt. No, I understand about quality. I understand about fabrics. I spent 10,000 hours at this. I dedicated my life to this. Then a lot of people say, okay, well, you have to do music. I'm gonna keep doing music, but what if people told me I couldn't rap? What would have happened? What if people told me I couldn't perform? I'm only 36 years old. I have other goals and other things, and I'm gonna use my platform, every platform, to stand up and say, I wanna make something. I wanna make the next Ralph Lauren. They say people don't stand up and protect their dreams. People are too scared of getting, spoofed in a way. And the irony of it is so many people that are creatives. Think about a creative person in school. When you picture them, you probably picture them all the way in the back of the class, sketching or maybe getting beat up. And I'm the one creative, and this is the reason why I went on stage. This is the reason why I did this, because creatives have got beat up my entire life. And there's moments where I stood up to drug dealers in Chicago and said, you can't have my publishing, come and kill me. Do whatever you're gonna do, but you're not going to bully me. You're not gonna stop me, because my mother made me believe in myself. No matter how many people tell me, stop believing in yourself. Stop saying what you can do. Stop affirming what you're gonna do and then completing that in real life. That's the improper way to do it. I refuse to follow those rules that society has set up in the way that they control people with low self-esteem, with improper information, with branding, with marketing. I refuse to follow those rules. It's about truth. It's about information. It's about awesomeness. And the only luxury is time. The time you spend with your family. That's the only luxury. So this concept of luxury.
And I remember the last thing she said. She said, you know what the problem is with all these students? As soon as they did anything, from when they were really little, their parents clapped. And the point she wanted to make to me, that she said to me as we were leaving out the hallway of the restaurant the last time I saw her, was, don't clap. You have to push them. You have to drive them. I remember the first time when North climbed all the way to the top of the stairs. And I'm trying to say that Kim would have grabbed her by third stair. But she felt like she had to impress me and be more dynamic, or hit the highest point that she had ever, had ever hit in her life. And Louise was really hard and, difficult with the students, but I felt like when you like Celine, when you like McQueen, all these things that have inspired us, I'm just talking directly about fashion, it's because there were people that pushed that hard. And, not to defend myself, but just to take this opportunity, because I have the mic. It's not someone else's mic. It's my mic. I can talk right now. I feel a responsibility to push in the world. I feel a responsibility in my position to be like, this is some bullshit. Am I the only one here that's not crazy? Am I the only one here that's not afraid of losing their Samsung deal right now?
Reason people fail in business today is they quit too soon. See, the first 18 months you go in business, everything you touch turns to crap. See, the first 3 to 5 years you go in business, folks, you're gonna be riding a dadgum roller coaster. Every time you get it going, you're gonna be disappointed. See, to win, you've gotta fight the fight for 8 to 10 years. See, folks, it's tough to win in the big leagues. But you know what? That's fantastic. See, if it was easy, if you had to be smart to do it, see, all the pretty people, all the brains would make all the money, have all the responsibility. Thank goodness it's tough. Thank goodness you got to get down there and slop it up. See, the American people have lost their toughness. They've lost their ability to make a commitment. See, folks, in trying to win in business, you're just going to have so many false starts. You think you get it going time after time, and you just get knocked back to ground zero, and it's your ability to compete, to pick yourself up off the mat one more time, to go for it one more time, that's going to determine success or failure.
We were beginning practice one day with my first football team, and I was fixing to line up everybody for calisthenics, and I saw my starting right guard, Johnny Campbell, come walking out to the practice field in his blue jeans and t-shirt. And I hollered over at him, I said, "Campbell, have you quit? What's wrong with you? Why ain't you dressed out?" He said, "Coach, a bee stung me today, and my face is swollen up, and I got one eye that's closed, and I can't get the helmet over my head." And I said, "Campbell, if you want to play on this football team, you get your butt back in the locker room, and you put that uniform on, and you find a way to squeeze that helmet over your head, and just think about it, Campbell. If you can practice with one eye, just think how good you're going to play Friday night with both eyes."
I don't know why we're going to win. I don't know how we're going to win. All I know is we're going to win. There are going to be many times we're going to want to throw in the towel, and we're going to know, we ain't going to know whether it's worth to continue to fight. The competition ain't going to beat this dude. The competition ain't going to run this guy out of business. Any of you that don't believe it, don't let the door hit you in the butt. But I want you to know, as long as there's a few of you that love this country and the things we stand for, but if there's a few of you that believe in A.L. Williams, love A.L. Williams, want to stay and fight at A.L. Williams, I'll never quit. It's unbelievable the number of men and women that will come to work at A.L. Williams. They say, man, this is it for me. I'm so pumped up. And they start working hard. I mean, man, they'd bust it. They'd work hard for a day or two or three, or a week or two or three, or a month or two or three. But right before they had a chance to make it, they were always quitting, just like their whole life, just a rerun of their whole life, everything they've ever tried. Man, they'd do it just long enough to almost have a chance. And then they just quit. They just a series of quitting. Just one opportunity right after another.
You see, folks, I believe with everything that's in me, nobody can motivate you. Nobody can motivate you long range. The only real motivation that lasts comes from inside. You got to have the ability to motivate yourself in order to win.
And I was willing to go out there and do what most people aren't willing to do, to sacrifice, pay a price, take a chance, live with all that uncertainty, prospect, live with the rejection, because I want to be in a position where nobody could put their thumb on me and squeeze me and use me.
Folks, I don't care how good you think it's going right now. I don't care how much momentum you got. I don't care how much money you're making. I don't care how much money your people are making. I don't care how happy you are in your business. Folks, you're always one day away from a disaster. Tomorrow, you're gonna get killed. Things are never as good as they seem, but also things are never as bad as they seem. When that disaster comes, and it's coming, get ready. Folks, don't quit. It's a 10-year game. It's a 20-year game, and things are never as bad as they seem. You gotta keep calling to play. Keep calling to play. Keep calling to play.
In spite of all those feelings every day of just giving up, of just quitting, just being down in the dumps, just being negative, in spite of all that, it's going to be your ability somehow to muster up the courage to flush that out, to reach down deep and find something inside of you that will allow you to go for it one more time.
See, life don't give you what you want. Life don't give you what you'd love to have. Everybody would love to be successful, right? Everybody wants success. They want financial independence. Life gives you what you will excel. If you will accept failure, hardships, disappointment, that's exactly what life's going to give you, right? If you want to win, you got to show up and demand for yourself success and fulfillment and happiness.